My husband used a primal method to save his female assistant, so I walked straight out the door. On Eastbrook General Hospital's security footage, I watched the intern Maya stagger and after swallowing an overdose of a day-trip drug and beg my husband for help. As her director, he chose the most primitive form of rescue. Afterward, he declared righteously, it was an emergency, this was the only way to save her. You're a doctor, you, of all people, should understand. Understand? I stared at the stills on my phone of the two of them naked and entwined and felt nothing but revulsion. 7 years of medical school, had he really never learned another antidote? From that moment, he no longer existed in my heart. Yet when I asked for a divorce, he fell apart. Eleanor, I was only trying to save her life, please believe me. It was late Friday night. I had just stepped out of a complicated cardiac bypass and trudged back to my attending office, drained, head knocked, her expression unreadable. Chief Sterling, there's something you need to see for yourself. The way she hesitated made my stomach sink. Security found, well, something on last night's footage from their on-call room. Since Dylan is involved, they didn't dare handle it alone. They came to me. Liam, my husband, their director. I took the tablet she offered and tapped the clip. The timestamp showed about 11 p.m. the night before. Maya stumbled in, cheeks flushed, clearly disoriented. The moment she spotted Liam, she threw herself at him like he was salvation. Dylan, help me, I feel awful. He steadied her and, professional as ever, checked pupils and pulse. What did you take? I don't know. Someone spiked my drink. I'm burning. She began clawing at her clothes. Up to that point, everything still looked like standard protocol. Then my hands started to shake. Liam hesitated for a few seconds and slipped off his own lab coat. The drug has already entered systemic circulation. Conventional detox is too late. There's only one option. I killed the screen. I didn't need to watch the rest to know what happened. Head studied me cautiously. Chief Sterling, do you want me to? No. I drew a slow breath, forcing calm. Thank you for telling me. Let's keep this quiet for now. Only after she left did I let myself fall apart for a minute. 7 years of marriage, and this was how he saved people? I stayed in the office all night. At sunrise, the door opened and Liam walked in, fatigue carved under his eyes. Eleanor, you never came home? Was the case that rough? He reached to hug me. I sidestepped. You were on night shift? I asked evenly. Yeah, non-stop admissions. He rubbed his temples. Food poisoning case kept us busy half the night. Food poisoning? I gave a cold laugh and shoved the tablet toward him. So this is your food poisoning patient? The moment he saw the frozen frame, his face blanched. Yet within seconds his composure snapped back. Eleanor, let me explain. Maya accidentally ingested an overdose of GHB. Once it's in the bloodstream, it throws the CNS into chaos. Her pulse was hitting 150. She could have gone into shock without immediate action. He rattled off the facts like we were in grand rounds. So you used your body to detox her? My voice quivered despite myself. It's the fastest route, he said, utterly sure. If the drug's vasomotor effects aren't countered, you can blow an artery or suffer a brain bleed. You're a doctor, you should understand. Understand? I stared at the stranger in front of me. Liam, do you take me for an idiot? GHB intoxication, standard care is lavage, catharsis, Morgan, plus benzodiazepine antagonists if needed. If time is short, you ice back, sedate, even throw in surface cooling, anything but what you did. He had no answer. 7 years of med school, 3 of residency, and this is the only protocol you could come up with? I rose and looked down at him. I want a divorce. Eleanor, think it through. Liam sprang up, trying to seize my wrist. I shook him off. Don't touch me, it makes me sick. Eleanor. His voice cracked upward. I admit the method was unprofessional, but my only intent was to save her. There was nothing personal. Nothing personal? I sneered. Then explain why Maya was the only intern rostered for that shift. Explain how she could waltz straight into the director's on-call room. And explain why, the second you learned she'd accidentally dosed herself, you didn't call another soul to help? Each question drained a shade more color from his face. Plus, I went on, eyes locked on his, how does a junior intern even accidentally swallow GHB? It's called the day trip drug. Ordinary people don't keep it in their water bottle. He looked away. Maybe someone pulled a prank. A prank? I laughed in outrage. Then why didn't you call the police? A patient is drugged inside our hospital and their director's first reaction isn't to investigate, it's to strip? I couldn't continue. The absurdity was suffocating. Eleanor, we've shared 7 years, Liam said, voice trembling. You're going to throw that away over one misunderstanding? It's not because of this one time. I shut my eyes, exhausted. It's because I finally see that in your heart, I was never the most important thing. The attending office sank into dead silence. Casey, Liam finally rasped, take a few days to cool off. When you're ready to think straight, we'll talk. After he left, I collapsed into the chair. 7 years of marriage finished, just like that. The signs had actually been there all along, 3 months ago. When Maya started her residency rotation in there, Liam had paid her special attention. Her family's poor, her dad's sick, she's working 2 jobs just to pay tuition. The kid's hardworking and talented. I want to mentor her. Back then, I'd swallowed every word, I'd even felt proud of how kind he was. But looking back, the holes were everywhere. Every other intern clocked out at 5, only Maya stayed past midnight. Every other intern manned a standard bay, only Maya got to study inside. The director's attending office. Every other intern got chewed out for mistakes. Maya always earned gentle coaching. The most ridiculous moment came at a department mixer. Maya sat next to Liam. She accidentally spilled red wine on him and in a panic started dabbing his shirt. The angle, the motion blatantly suggestive. And Liam? He simply said, mildly, "It's fine. Be more careful." That night, back at the penthouse, I reminded him to watch his boundaries. He told me I was imagining things. "Eleanor, when did you become so sensitive? Maya's still a kid. Why are you arguing with a kid?" A kid, a 23-year-old kid? The kind who accidentally takes a day-trade drug in the middle of the night. I gave a bitter shake of my head. I was the one who'd been stupid. At noon, my phone showed a call from Liam's mother. "Eleanor, sweetheart, Liam says you two had a little tiff?" Margaret's voice was as gentle as always. I hesitated. "Mom, we're getting divorced." A sharp inhale cracked across the line. "Divorced? Eleanor, what on earth happened?" "Liam, I bit my lip. The shame was too thick to say aloud." "Mom, please ask Liam for the details." "Eleanor, you've been married 7 years. Surely you can talk things through?" Margaret was growing frantic. "Wait right there. I'm coming over." An hour later, Margaret stepped into my attending office. Right behind her came Liam, unshaven and haggard. "Mom, what are you doing here?" I forced a smile. "My son and daughter-in-law are divorcing. Of course I'm here." She clasped my hands. "Eleanor, what happened?" Liam won't say a word. I glanced at him. He looked away, clearly intending to keep silent. "Mom's Liam, Mom, it's my fault," Liam cut in suddenly. "I've been buried in work and neglected Eleanor. She feels I don't care enough, so she's upset." Margaret exhaled in relief. "Is that all?" "Eleanor, Liam can be thoughtless, but you're always in his heart. You're both doctors. Busy schedules come with the territory. You have to make allowances for each other." I stared at Liam cold. His talent for dodging the truth was nauseating. "Mom, that's not it." I drew a steadying breath. Since he wouldn't say it, I would. "Last night, Liam and his female intern were in the on-call room." Enough. Liam shot to his feet. His outburst confirmed everything. Margaret's face drained of color. "Liam, is Eleanor telling the truth?" Liam hung his head. After a long pause, "It's not what you think." "Then what was it?" I sneered. "Should I pull the security footage so Mom can watch?" Margaret's hands began to tremble. Slowly she let go of me and turned to her son. Smack, a ringing slap. "Liam, how did I give birth to something like you?" The slap threw Liam into panic. "Mom, listen to me, really, it's not what you think. Maya accidentally ingested medication last night. She was crashing. I was saving her." Margaret shook with rage. "Saving her? Do you think I'm 3 years old? What kind of treatment requires you to take your clothes off?" I poured a glass of water and pressed it into her hand. "Mom, don't let him wreck your health." Margaret accepted the glass, eyes reddening. "Eleanor, I'm the one who owes you an apology. I failed to raise my son properly and you paid the price. Mom, it isn't your fault." I rubbed her back gently. Liam, seeing his mother side with me, turned even uglier. "Mom, Eleanor's just lashing out. Once she calms down, she'll realize I was only following my duty as a doctor." Margaret swung again. "Duty? Your father was a doctor, your grandfather was a doctor. Why didn't they ever treat anyone like this? Stop insulting the profession." Silence crashed over the attending office. "Casey," Margaret finally steadied her breathing. "Eleanor, when it comes to the divorce, Mom is on your side. A man like that, throw him back." Liam gaped at her. "Mom, how can you say that?" "Easily." Margaret's stare was icy. "Liam, from this day on, you are no son of mine." She tucked my hand in hers. "Eleanor, let's go. Don't waste another breath on that scum." Before I walked out, I looked back. He stood frozen, as if he couldn't believe. The world had flipped upside down, but so what? He'd chosen the road himself. Margaret insisted on driving me home. "Taylor," she started to speak several times only to stop herself. "Mom, if there's something on your mind, just say it." Margaret sighed. "Eleanor, that female intern, you know her?" I picked Liam up after the department mixer last month. Saw her once. Margaret's brows drew together. I sensed trouble the moment I laid eyes on her. The way she looked at Liam was downright blatant. I gave a bitter laugh. Too bad I was so slow. I only just noticed. "It's not that you're slow, it's that you trusted Liam too much." She took my hand. "Eleanor, I probably shouldn't say this, but given Liam's personality, this might not be the first time." My heart sank like a stone. Right, if there hadn't already been something between them, how could he have chosen that solution so naturally? If he didn't have a guilty conscience, why would his first instinct have been to hide rather than confess? Mom, I need to be alone for a while. Margaret nodded in understanding. All right, get some rest. If there's anything you need for the divorce, just tell me. I'm on your side. After I walked her out, I was left alone in the cavernous penthouse. Every corner of this place carried memories from the past 7 years. The sofa in the living room, we'd picked it out together. The dining table, he'd assembled it with his own hands. The wedding portrait in the bedroom, our happiest moment frozen in time. Now it all looked like a cruel joke. I pulled out my phone and texted my attorney friend. Draft a divorce agreement for me. The reply came instantly. What happened? You and Dr. Sterling were the perfect couple. The perfect couple? I laughed at myself. Nothing, just tired of being perfect. That evening Liam came home. He'd evidently calmed himself. The usual gentle elegance was back in place. Eleanor, let's talk. I sat on the sofa, watching him coldly. I admit I mishandled things last night, he said, taking the seat across from me. But you have to believe me, there's absolutely no feeling between Maya and me. It was pure medical instinct. Medical instinct, the phrase was sickeningly ironic. Liam, do you know what disgusts me more than what you did? I stared at him. It's that you're still lying to my face. He blinked. I'm not lying, no. I lifted my phone. Should I pull your call logs with Maya for the last 3 months? Should I ask the nurses how many times you two worked late together? Should I requisition more security footage so I can see exactly how Cameron you've been? Liam's face drained of color. Eleanor, you investigated me? Not investigated, just uncovered the facts. I kept my voice level. Like you said, I'm a doctor too. I believe in evidence. Casey passed before he finally spoke. Even if I did feel something for her, so what? I never did anything to betray you. Before last night we were completely innocent. At last, the confession. I actually felt a strange sense of relief. Innocent? I stood. Liam, have you forgotten that emotional cheating is still cheating? The moment you developed feelings for another woman, you betrayed our marriage. I walked to the wedding portrait and lifted it off the wall. The divorce papers will be delivered by my lawyer. The penthouse is my premarital property. It stays with me. Everything else we divide 50-50. That's all. The frame cracked in my hands just like our marriage. The next morning, Liam didn't go to Eastbrook General. He'd taken the day off and was waiting when I came downstairs. The table was loaded with every dish I loved, each one cooked by him. Eleanor, I know I was wrong. He stood there in an apron, looking exactly like the day we married. These years I took you for granted. I assumed you'd always be there, so I ignored how you felt. I didn't sit, I simply regarded him with ice in my eyes. Liam, do you actually understand what you did wrong? He hesitated. I shouldn't have had feelings for Maya, wrong. I shook my head. You thought I was an idiot. From her very first day you treated her differently. Every time I pointed it out you told me I was imagining things. You got to enjoy the flirtation while painting me as the jealous wife. I raised a hand to cut off his protest. Even worse, what happened last night. You knew it was a day trip drug, yet your first reaction wasn't to call the police or pull the footage to find the truth. You chose the option that protected yourself best. I gave a cold laugh. Let's be honest, you wanted to sleep with her. You just wrapped it in a noble excuse. His face flushed crimson. Eleanor, what? The truth hurts. I lifted my phone. Should I play the uncut security footage for you? Let's see whether your expression that night said lifesaver or I'm enjoying this. Liam collapsed into the chair. No more arguments left. Where's the agreement? I asked. He drew a folder from his briefcase. I've signed everything. The penthouse is yours. The savings are yours. Take it all. I only have one request. I took the papers and scanned the terms. He really was walking away with nothing, but so what? No need. I picked up the pen. Let's both keep a little dignity. Just as I was about to sign, the doorbell rang. Liam went to open it, and Maya's voice floated in. Dylan, may I come in? I need to speak to Riley. Maya was dressed all in white, pure, innocent looking. If I didn't know the truth, who would guess this girl had accidentally swallowed a day trip drug last night? Rowan, she greeted sweetly. I regarded her coldly. What do you want? Riley, about last night I wanted to explain personally. Maya lowered her head, the picture of guilt. At yesterday's department mixer, someone slipped something into my drink. When I felt strange, I ran to the on-call room for help. Dylan was only trying to save me. Nice performance. If I hadn't seen the security footage, I might have bought it, really? I smiled thinly. Then do you know who drugged you? Maya shook her head. No, there were too many people. Since you don't know, why didn't you call the police? I was afraid of the scandal, she said, biting her lip. After all, this kind of thing ruins a girl's reputation. I nodded. So you chose a better solution? Maya's face drained of color. Riley, what do you mean? Exactly what I said. I stood and walked up to her. Maya, do you take everyone for fools? GHB is a controlled substance. How do you just get it? Are you sure you drank something someone else gave you? Or did you prepare it yourself? Maya staggered back. Riley, how could you think that of me? Because I'm not blind. I took out my phone and pulled up a clip. This is the hospital entrance footage. Yesterday at 6 p.m. you left alone. At 7:30 you came back carrying a bag. Tell me, where were you during that hour and a half? Maya had no answer. Want me to keep going? I pocketed the phone. Maybe check what was in that bag. Or pull your credit card history, Riley. Maya suddenly dropped to her knees, tears spilled instantly. I was wrong, I really was. I just like Dylan too much. I know it's wrong, but I couldn't help myself. Watching Maya kneel, I found her pathetic. Liam panicked and tried to lift her up. Don't do this, get up. I shoved him away. Let her stay down. If she wants to act, she can finish the whole play. Maya wept prettily. Riley, I swear before last night, Dylan and I were nothing. I only wanted to create a chance. I thought, then he'd finally notice me. So that was it. She'd staged an entire drama to seduce my husband. Congratulations, I said icily. He noticed you, all right, and got to know you intimately. Maya's face flushed and paled by turns. Liam flushed with shame. Eleanor, enough. Enough. I laughed. We're just getting started. I crouched, pinching her chin. Little girl, this isn't how you chase a man. Using a date-rape drug is cheap and contemptible. And yes, my husband's decent, but not worth throwing your dignity away for. Maya trembled under my words. Yet you're so calculating at your age. You picked the exact night Liam was on duty. You even calculated the camera angle to make him look like the aggressor. If I didn't know him, I might have fallen for it. I let go and straightened. Too bad you underestimated a wife's intuition and overestimated a man's self-control. Maya finally cracked. She shrieked, so what if I did? You both have perfect families, prestigious jobs. I have nothing. I only wanted someone to rely on. What's wrong with that? I looked at her and for a moment pitied her. You're wrong because you chose the wrong person. What you trade your body for will never be real security. Today he betrays me for you, tomorrow he'll betray you for someone else. A man like that worth it? Maya left. Before she walked out, she gave Liam a long look. In her eyes, reluctance, longing, mostly hate. Liam avoided her gaze. Only the two of us remained in the living room. Now, anything else you want to say? I asked. Liam slumped on the couch, head in his hands. I'm sorry. I never thought it would go this far. At first I just felt sorry for her, wanted to help. Later I somehow fell for her. I finished. He nodded miserably. I swear, before last night, I never touched her. I knew it was wrong. So I kept resisting, if not for last night's accident. I cut in. Liam, still deceiving yourself, even if Maya did drug herself. You still had a choice. You could have called another staff member. There were other ways to handle it. But you didn't. You picked the option that felt most convenient for you. Liam had nothing left to say. Yeah, in that instant his choice laid bare what he really felt. Eleanor, I know I was wrong. He lifted his head. The rims of his eyes were scarlet. All these years I've been too full of myself. I kept thinking we were made for each other, that you could never leave me. Only now do I see the one who couldn't walk away was me. Too late. I picked up the pen and signed the divorce papers. Liam, let's end it here. The moment the ink dried, I felt the weight slide off my shoulders. 7 years of marriage finished. Whatever life we have left, let each of us find peace. News of the divorce rocketed through Eastbrook General. After all, we had been the hospital's golden couple. Reactions among the staff ran the spectrum, some sympathetic, some nosy, a few openly gleeful. None of it mattered to me anymore. Liam, though, was having a rougher ride. Word about Maya somehow leaked. No one said it to his face, but the way people looked at him changed overnight. Their nurses still called him Dylan to his face, then whispered the second he turned the corner. Never figured Dylan for that kind of guy. Chief Sterling was so good to him, how could he? Meant everything south of the belt. What hurt Liam most was that Maya vanished. She never showed for another shift. Rumor said she'd requested a transfer to a different hospital. Before she left, she posted a tell-all online. The headline was pure clickbait, my story with a certain top-tier director, She never used his name. But anyone with eyes knew who she meant. In the post she painted herself the victim harassed by a married boss, forced into bed. She ended with melodrama. I only ever wanted to study medicine. But because I refused hospital harassment, I lost my residency. This world is brutal to women. Public outrage detonated overnight. Netizens raged, demanding the scalp of that director under pressure. The hospital benched Liam. In the span of days, he went from star department head to the creep everyone loved to hate. Me, suddenly I was the pitiful wronged wife in the comments section. Irony at its finest. Liam came looking for me several times, always half drunk. Eleanor, I'm wrecked, everything's gone. My job, my name, even you. What the hell was I even chasing? I felt nothing, he'd carved this road. Himself, Liam, sober up. Instead of drowning in self-pity, figure out how to clear your name. Maya defamed you, sue her. He gave a bitter laugh. Sue her for what? The security footage exists. I did sleep with her, even if she was willing. Who'd believe me? Exactly, he'd painted himself into a dead end. If only he'd played it straight. Jordan? That's your problem now. I stood to see him out. Liam, we're divorced. Don't come here again. He swayed to his feet. Eleanor, you really don't feel a thing for me? 7 years and you can be this cold? Liam, when you chose betrayal, did you think about me? When you swore you were saving her, did you consider how I'd feel? Now you call me cold, doesn't that strike you as absurd? He had no answer. At the door he looked back. Eleanor, if I could do it over, there's no do-over. I shut the door. Some mistakes don't get second chances. A shattered mirror, no matter how you piece it together, will never reflect the past again. 1 year later, I transferred to the capital's premier cardiac surgery department. Freed from marriage, I funneled every ounce of energy into my work. Within months, I earned full professorship, youngest chief of cardiac surgery. In the hospital's history, from time to time colleagues mention Liam was still at the old place. He'd regained a staff position but no longer directed there. Maya's scandal had hollowed him out. They said he lived alone, clocked in, then drank himself to sleep. The once dashing Dylan had become the staff's favorite cautionary tale. As for Maya, her 15 minutes of pity faded fast. Internet sleuths soon dug up her earlier hits. Turned out this wasn't her first married physician rodeo. She'd pulled similar stunts at previous hospitals, only this time she'd snapped her own trap. Netizen sentiment flipped overnight. Pity morphed into scorn. She nuked every social account and vanished. Word was she'd taken a job at some small-town clinic. Karma served lukewarm. One day I spotted Liam at a medical symposium. He'd lost weight. The spark in his eyes was gone. Eleanor, he called from a distance. I gave a polite nod and started to leave. Wait, he caught up. I just need to know, are you doing all right? Very well, thank you, I answered. Quinn. He studied me, a tangle of emotions in his gaze. Good, Eleanor, I'm truly sorry. I was a fool who didn't know what he had. I didn't reply. I simply nodded and walked away. Some people are destined to be nothing more than chapters we close. ***, the end ***.